Middle schools. We are so glad to see everybody here that's here tonight and for one good common cause. We love and appreciate every one of you and all of you that's elected and your perfected positions, and for the people come out to stand up for their schools. And I want us to go before the Lord in prayer. Father, we come before you tonight. We love you, Lord. We thank you, Father, for the work that finished at Calvary, Lord. The God that brought salvation to all of those who have called upon you and put their faith and trust in you. We ask of you, Lord, to direct this meeting. I pray that, God, that you will have everyone with their comments and those that, Lord, that make decisions in this behalf. I pray that, Lord, you'll help us to be like Jehoshaphat was. And, Lord, we know not what to do, but, Lord, our eyes are up on you. And, Lord, we believe you, Lord, that you will direct us, and, Lord, and give us, Lord, Heavenly Father, not our wishes, not our desires, but, Lord, what would be in the will of you. We ask you blessings upon the entire congregation and all in leadership, and we'll thank you for it. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Call the meeting to order. Here.
Fields. Here. Everly.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Glassman. Lester.
Here.
Rodner. Wheeler. Miller.
Here. Motion, item number 3, do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Move to approve. Motion by Mr. Johnson, do I have a second? Second. Second by Mr. Cummins, any discussion? Call it.
Creekmore.
Yes.
Cummins.
Yes.
Fields.
Yes.
Heatherly.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Lester.
Yes.
Rodner.
Yes.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Item number 4, discuss and take any necessary action regarding the 2026-2027 school budget. There's a packed house here tonight, and we do now require, or will be required to have a public comment section. The governor signed the bill back in March, I think. So at the end of after we get done, I'm going to open up for some public comment on specific, like 2 people per subject. So if it's like assistant principal cut, 2 people per policy can talk about that. If it's about a school closure, 2 people can stand up and give us feedback on that. That's how I think we will play that out. Is that correct, Mrs. Rick? Okay. So we're going to continue on with what we were discussing last night. I think the director has some additional options, and I'm going to turn the floor over to her.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming out. We greatly appreciate your participation, and we want to make sure that we make this as open and honest as we can. I want to thank Finance. They have been so helpful. Last night we left the meeting, we went back over, and we started working on different options. What we're presenting to the board members, we have a couple different options that we would like to present. What I suggest is that we look at each option, because there might be something in one option that we say, yeah, we can agree on that. And then there might be one that we can say, no, we're not. So we want to go back and look at that. So I think that would be easier for us, I think for finance as well, as what can we agree upon. what can we agree upon? We know there's going to have to be cuts, but what can we agree upon? Now, for the people that are here that are worried about school closure, at this point, my budget does not have, it does have cuts, but there is nothing in it to close a school. So, we are at May. School closures typically take some planning. So there will be cuts, but there will be cuts all across the district. I'm cutting central office as well. So everybody's going to be part of these cuts. There's one school that there will be minor cuts, but they are pretty well cut to the bone. And so we're going to go through that, but most schools will see cuts. Now, as I said, that's my proposal. I only propose budget items. The board has to approve or not approve. And so for me, it will be easier for us to go through the items and kind of like do a line item agreement on it approach. I think that might be easier for us, but I think that there were probably some things that everybody could agree to in last night's budget. I think we went back and there were some things that we did have to take out just because we did some recalculating as far as student needs, so we had to adjust some things. Now, if we cannot come to an agreement on some of this, we do have some other supplemental things, but those are kind of more of a last resort type thing. So what I proposed, okay, this is the option one. Yes, I'll take some. Let me take some. And like I said, this is the starting point for us. This is not set in stone. This is just some things that, when you start putting numbers in and you start putting fringe benefits in, then you start getting more accurate numbers. And that's why it's really hard to put an exact amount until you actually get positions on there.
Madam Director, one thing I want to be clear about, there has never been a proposed budget that would have a school closure. There has been no motion from any member of this board to support a school closure. There has been no member of this board advocate for a school closure. Period, full stop, end of discussion. There has never been a school closure on the table with any budget that we have proposed. So I just want to be super clear. There's some misinformation about that. That's just blatantly not true. Never have we had a budget that considers that. So be careful what you read on Facebook, because that's just not true.
So, as I go through this, the first thing was reduce capital outlay by $225,000. At central office, we would abolish the promotion retention coordinator. That would be a savings of $78,239. Pay for Campbell County High School doors out of fund balance, that is $100,000. Now, we had a CPA funding, and that was to be, if I understand this correctly, a transition person to work between finance and the board, and I guess the director, the board, the director, and finance. We do not believe we need that. So that is $50,000. Abolish one teacher position at, abolish, no, I'm missing it. Is that?
CCH.
Ella, because of retirement.
That's CCHSELA.
English language arts, I'm sorry. Okay, then abolish unknown teacher at La Follette Elementary. That would be a PE teacher, and I believe that is retirement. Then we would abolish the 2 driver's ed positions at Campbell County High School. We would abolish 1 teacher at Elk Valley. We would abolish a business teacher, and they're retiring at Campbell County High School. And Mr. Faust, I think you told me those numbers were kind of low, that you could survive that, didn't you? Okay. Abolish 1 teacher at White Oak, and that position is vacant currently at this time. Abolish the computer science teacher, and that teacher serves 4 of the K-8 schools, so the K-8 schools would have to, computer science is required, they would have to incorporate that themselves. Now, that position is, the person is retiring. And then we would abolish a pre-K at Valley View, and our numbers are down. And then abolish 1 other Valley View teacher. We would abolish 2 Carrollville elementary teachers, and their enrollment has decreased. So that's where we get those numbers. We would abolish the pre-K assistant at Valley View. So if you're closing a preschool classroom, then you would no longer need the assistant. And so that still leaves them with 3 preschool classrooms. And we are having a difficult time filling all those spots. Okay? Our pre-K safety supervisor, that was originally 2/3 of our budget, was being paid 2/3 from 141, which for you who don't understand 141, that's your state and local funds. We're gonna take that down to 20%, because how we're doing that is we're combining a position there. And so, and Zach, if I misspeak here, you correct me, okay? We're combining some duties there. Then we abolished the supplement for the maintenance. We also said we have to have a retention coordinator or someone over retention. So that would be a supplement that we would add to someone's salary. And then abolish the White Oak pre-K classroom. Though it's very hard for it's very hard to get for us to get those numbers. And so, but the pre-K instructional assistant, we were going to move that person over to White Oak. They would still stay at White Oak, that preschool assistant. That's what we have. I'm gonna give you all a few minutes to look at that. And I am more than happy to make adjustments if there's things. We are not cutting the math position at Campbell County, because that's one position when we went back, and Ms. Wheeler and Mr. Enix, they went through that as well. And as far as feedback, we got feedback from the principal. We have a large freshman class going in to Campbell County High School. That's a good thing.
And this also retains the assistant.
This also retains assistant principals. These are the cuts. This is what we're cutting.
I have a question about in your central office, the college promotion retention coordinator. Is that not a state law requiring us to do that last year?
It does not have to be a full-time position, and so I can transfer that person into another position that is, I believe it's going to be very comparable pay. They're not exactly the same, but, so.
I thought it was required, but.
It is, but that does not have to be a full-time position. So we would look at giving that to one of the other individuals. Okay, it might be a federal funded position, and we just tag this on as a supplement to their duties.
Any
Any
questions?
questions?
Real quick, Director, this cost per student, these analysis that I asked you for, that was based on last night's budget, not tonight's, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
Yes.
I was trying to compare the two, I was like, wait, the math ain't mathing.
And I do want to say, I misspoke last night. I did not realize, when we did those numbers, that did include the, I want to explain special ed. So special ed is funded through two ways. We get federal funding for it, and then we get TISA add-on. So that when I said it did not include the TISA funding for special ed, it actually did when we looked at each school. I misunderstood that. It does not include the federal. Now, you might wonder, well, how do you decide which person you pay out of federal and which one you pay out of state? There's not really any rhyme or reason to how you do that. You just put salaries in and you use as much as you can in the federal. And we do have formulas where we have to maintain, we have what's called maintenance of effort. So I did misspeak last night, and I did want to clarify that so that you all will understand. That did include the special ed teachers that are funded through the local dollars. So we mingle those funds together to provide our special ed teachers. And so that's how what I was saying. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Any other questions? Mr. Cummings?
Line item number 21, abolish unknown 13, White Oak Pre-K. How many students are in that White Oak Pre-K?
I think when we started here,
17 and 8 of the students are 3-year-olds.
so we do not get funding for 3-year-olds, correct?
They're going to take that out of our utilization for next year.
So how many teachers would that leave at White Oak?
Is that?
Did we say 4 or 5?
A principal and 4,
4 or 5, I think it's 4.
so there will have to be split classrooms, and there'll have to be split classrooms at Elk Valley. Will have to do a split classroom.
According to this one report, there were 12 total teachers at White Oak on the enrollment data. I've not had time to verify that though, so I'm not sure how many of those right off.
And Director, you said previously that you would be moving an assistant for Pre-K there?
No, the pre-K assistant that is there, we would just keep them there to be just an instructional assistant there. I mean, in reality, that's, when you look at instructional assistants' pay, most instructional assistants live close in their community. So do you want to clarify that anymore as far as the instructional assistant the pre-K instructional assistant
I don't think there's really a whole lot more to add other than what you said.
Any more questions?
And again, we don't want to make any of these cuts. Nobody does.
Any more questions? So does the board want to take action on this particular, or do you want to talk about the others?
I think I'd like to see the others, just to see kind of.
Okay, Zach, do you have it or do you?
That's all.
Okay. Here, yes, thank you. Okay, here is option 2.
Do we not have a sound system? Nobody can hear nobody talking.
He's exactly right.
I mean, anybody else see hear me?
No, I couldn't hear me.
Turn them mics on. Let's go. It ain't top secret up there.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Make sure y'all.
Some of them don't work good, and I apologize for that. I mean, I don't
I know they're
know.
a little bit static, there's a lot of secret talk.
Can you hear me? No. Okay. All right, so if you all, if y'all.
Is that better?
Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, much.
If you all would like, I can go back just briefly over one for everybody, option one, so that the public can hear as well. Is that it? Okay. So let me. Let me get myself organized here. Okay. On option one, it was to reduce capital outlay by $225,000. At central office, we would abolish a promotion retention coordinator. We would pay for the Campbell County High School doors out of fund balance. Now, I'll go back and tell you the amounts. The central office abolished promotion retention coordinator is $78,239. The pay for the Campbell County High School doors out of fund balance is $100,000. Abolish the CPA funding, that was the certified public accountant, and we don't feel like we need that anymore, that was $50,000. Abolish an ELA teacher, and that teacher is retiring, and that is at Campbell County High School. Abolish a PE teacher at La Follette Elementary, that teacher is retiring. Abolish 2 driver's ed positions at Campbell County High School. Abolish 1 teacher at Elk Valley. Abolish 1 business teacher that's retiring at Campbell County High School. White Oak, abolish the 1 vacant position at White Oak. We abolished the itinerant computer science teacher, and they are retiring, and that serves the 4 K-8 schools, so the K-8 schools will have to absorb that. Those teachers will have to teach that. We abolish 1 Valley View pre-K, and then we abolish another Valley View teacher. We abolish 2 teachers at Campbell. We abolish the pre-K assistant that would be at that Valley View preschool. Our pre-K safety supervisor will be taking over the responsibilities of a supervisor, and so we are moving because that supervisor, she will be taking over Title I, and so Title I, her salary will be transferred, part of that salary will be transferred to Title I, because we had a Title I person retired back earlier in the year. So that will save it, will reduce her salary. It was 2/3 out of 141, which is your state and local funds. That will reduce down to 20%. And that is the savings. And when we say salaries, let me explain, that's the savings and the fringe that we have. So it's not just the salary part, it's also the fringe. That will save $53,000. We're gonna add a supplement to someone to do the retention. So we have to, that will save us though a full-time person. That does not have to be a full-time person. So that will be a stipend that will be provided to someone. And then we're going to abolish the $4,000 stipend to the the maintenance supplement. And then we will abolish the pre-K at White Oak, the teacher. And we will move the aide into just the White Oak school, so they would not be doing preschool. And our funding for preschool is a little different. We have to spend a certain percentage of funds out of state and local dollars to get, out of our state dollars, to get the state funding for preschool. And our preschool coordinator's here, so she can clarify. Please speak up if I misspeak here. We do not get funding for many of the children. For most 3-year-olds, we do not get funding for. So there were 8 3-year-olds at that school, and so we would abolish that preschool program. That gives us a savings of $1,520,921. That's a total of 16 positions abolished, and your non-certified positions abolished is 1. So that's 1. Let me get 2 here. Here's a second option. Reduce capital outlay by $225,000. Campbell County High School would have an assistant principal position abolished. Jellicoe High School would have an assistant principal position abolished, and I'm going to go back. Those are each at $86,174 each. Central Office would abolish the promotion retention coordinator, and that's $78,239. The pay for Campbell County High School doors out of fund balance would be $100,000. The English language arts teacher at Campbell County High School, we have a retirement there, and we would abolish that position, and those duties would have to be picked up. You have, Campbell County High School has other duties with English certification, am I correct?
Yes.
Mr. Fowles? So he might have to have a teacher teaching, move them over into English to pick up some of that. But that is doable, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Abolish La Follette Elementary PE teacher, they are retiring. Now, I will explain that a little bit on the PE teacher. That position, one of our other schools is within 40 students of that, and they only have 1 PE teacher. So if we find that they cannot make it with just 1 teacher, I have a PE teacher at Valley View that I will make itinerant, and and then I have another PE teacher that's itinerant, so they would serve 3 schools plus help out La Follette if they need the additional help. So that's a savings of 1 PE teacher. Then abolish driver's ed teachers at Campbell County High School, that would be 2. Abolish 1 teacher at Elk Valley, abolish the business teacher who is retiring at Campbell County High School. White Oak, 1 position that is vacant, we would abolish that. We would abolish the computer science, as I stated earlier, the one that is itinerant for the 4 K-8 schools. Abolish preschool at Valley View, 1 preschool classroom, they still have 3. Abolish 2 Campbell elementary teachers. Abolish the pre-K assistant at Valley View. The pre-K safety supervisor would go from 2/3 being paid out of 141 to 20%. We would add the retention supplement to another role, administrative role. Abolish 4,000 maintenance supplement. Abolish the White Oak pre-K and move White Oak voluntary pre-K to just to White Oak school. They would have an additional 8. So that's option 2.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
On option 2, just of note, we can take option number 2, modify it in the amount of $160,000 and still pass it. What I would like to see is strike line item number 2, so that we would keep the assistant principal at Campbell County High School. I would also like to keep line item number 14, which would keep our computer science teacher to support schools in the 5th district. And I would like to make a motion that we approve option 2 with the strikes presented.
No.
That's your motion?
It is, yes, sir.
Okay, do we need to give time for public comment before we actually get, so,
But you made a motion. Motion's been made.
okay.
We're going to have cuts at every school. This still includes the most number of cuts at Campbell County High School, which is in my district. I know we're going to have cuts all the way around, so.
No.
Is there a second? Motion dies for lack of second.
Okay, now.
Option 3.
Yes, ma'am.
Does Jellicoe High School have driver's ed? Oh, but Sharon,
One of them, I think.
What's the conversation?
I said, does Jellicoe High School have driver's ed? We're cutting both of them, we're cutting 2.
One of those is shared to Jellicoe High School.
Is it, okay, that clears it up, then, thank you.
Okay, here's option 3, and like I said, you might, board members, these are options, and we can pick and choose, okay?
Just real quick, this is the same option as was presented last night.
Yes, this is the same option as last night, you're right. Last night was reduced capital outlay by $225,000. Campbell County High School abolished assistant principal position. Jellicoe High School abolished assistant principal position. Those are $86,174. Central office, we would abolish the promotion retention coordinator. That's $78,239. We would pay for Campbell County High School doors out of fund balance. We would abolish the CPA funding, which is $50,000. We would abolish the English language arts teacher at Campbell County High School. That was $99,000. We would abolish the algebra teacher that's vacant at Campbell County High School at $85,000. We would abolish the 2 driver's ed teachers, and that's $68,500 each. We would abolish a teacher at Elk Valley. We would abolish a business teacher because of retirement. White Oak, we abolish 1 position that's vacant. We would abolish the computer science teacher, and this is the one that's itinerant for the middle school, the K through 8 schools, in the middle school area, just in the middle school grades. Then we would abolish the pre-K at Valley View, and then we would abolish 1 teacher at Valley View. We would abolish a teacher at Jacksboro Elementary. We would abolish 2 at Carroll. And I'm sorry, those are $68,500 each, the teachers. And then at Campbell, the 2 we would abolish is $137,000. Abolish the pre-K assistant at Valley View, which is $21,000. Your pre-K safety supervisor from 2/3 to 20%, and then add retention supplement to the other admin, to another admin, then abolish the $4,000 maintenance supplement. That's a savings of $1,675,269.
Any members have any questions on that option?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve option 3, but remove the abolish unknown teacher 2, algebra, that's vacant at Campbell County High School. We do need that position. And to replace that with the LaValle Elementary School PE teacher, retired.
It's the motion, to have a second?
Jeff Ralph, second.
Mr. Lashley seconds the motion. Any discussion? Call the roll, Mrs. Martin.
I think you want public comment first.
Yeah.
Let's do public comment first, before we
Now,
vote.
now what we're gonna do, we're gonna keep everything civil. And I'm gonna call upon anybody to comment, and we're gonna go 3 minutes per person, and you can come up. No disparaging comments toward the members, you direct them to me. So, who would like to speak first? Raise your hand. Amen.
I'm Sherry Lasley.
Will you get the mic, please?
Yes.
Unplugged it.
Yeah, plug it in. It's not plugged in.
Not. Thank you for taking care of me, Ben.
You're very welcome. Nope, that's not wrong. That's fine.
You do me. Ah. Thank you, Ben.
You're very welcome.
I'm Sherry Lasley. The only concern I have is Campbell County High School has 3 assistant principals. Jellicoe only has 1. If you put all the responsibility on the principal for the running of that school, and I've worked there. I worked there for almost 15 years. That's an impossible task for the principal at Jellicoe High School. And I'm sorry, I know you all have to balance the budget, but that is something that is near and dear to my heart. And the kids and the teachers, the staff, the administration, they're an amazing group of people. And if you cut their support in half, then you need to do that across the board. You don't just need to do that to one school. I know their numbers are not what they were when I was there, but they are still an amazing school. I don't think 2 administrators is enough, but 2 is what they have, and cutting one, in my opinion, is not a good idea. Thank you for your time.
Next. Mr. Faust.
I too reiterate what she just said. I think their numbers are at 269, somewhere in there. Next year, when we get our 8th grade group, Campbell County High School will be over, be around 1,050 again. So it is with TISA funding and the levels of things that you have to do at the high school level, where it comes with college and career readiness, your accountability measures, the TISA funding things. It is very hard to work without that admin support. So I agree with the Jellicoe. I agree with that, but I also think at Campbell County High School we are set up to be successful, and you can see that if you look at your bonus funding that just came out. We've earned over $150,000 with our bonus funds, and it's because my assistant principals work that hard, and they attack that every day. So we don't want to lose anything, and you all are. You got a hard job to do. We understand that. We're going to support it, whatever you decide. But at the same time, we do want to advocate for our schools and our kids. So that's all I got.
Exactly.
Anybody else?
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Can you approach?
Yes. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Hi, so my question is, with these cuts at White Oak specifically, how many teachers did you say that was going to leave them with?
It leaves a principal, and is it 4 or 5?
This one sheet said there was 12 certified personnel, so I'm not entirely sure. Is that
Okay.
probably encompasses special ed?
Yes, because, yeah.
So 4 teachers, K to 8.
That's what it would be.
I'm just curious how that's gonna be possible for these teachers.
It would be split, it would be split classrooms.
I feel they are already stripped to the bare minimum at the moment. I mean, Iredell Valley do not want to lose a teacher, but, I mean, at White Oak, we're leaving them with nothing.
She has 4 classes.
Just as a point of clarification, can we check that number? Because I was almost certain that it would be 6 core teachers that would be left at White Oak if they're,
It would be.
okay.
It would, okay, yes, that's true.
Okay, thank you.
So it would be 6.
6 teachers plus the fifth. Great.
Is that right?
And if correct, that would still leave our student-to-teacher ratio about 1 to 10, 1 to 12.
It's still very good student-teacher ratio.
It'd actually be 5.
5, and then, and you have 80-something students there right now. If it's under, let's say, it is under 100, that's less than 20 students on average per teacher.
Madam Director, somebody said that there was 110 students currently at White Oak. I believe we have 81. Can we verify that real quick? Because there's a huge difference. And we're being told that there's roughly 80.
Well, you could, part of that could be the difference when you include preschool.
Okay.
We have 85 students.
Anybody else?
If you don't count preschool, there's 85 students.
Public comment. I got more to say. Stand up. Yeah.
Can you come to the microphone, please? Thank you.
Yes, I was wondering, what about teachers on waivers? Are y'all gonna get rid of teachers that are actually certified, or you gonna keep the ones
Teachers on waiver.
waivers?
Well, we have to take care of our tenured teachers first.
Yeah.
And then, the teachers on waivers, principals, they have a certain amount of time to get their certification. So, of course, if they didn't make that, we couldn't keep them. But that depends on the school and what their needs would be. If Mr. Faust could not keep a Spanish teacher to teach math.
Yeah.
So that would be, once we fill those spots, we have some vacant positions in our district right now.
Yeah.
So we believe that most of these would just be absorbed through a lot of that.
All right.
So I don't think our teachers on waivers, and I will say that my son's one of them, I think unless that school takes a cut, then we would still keep them. The waiver really doesn't have as much to do with that as we have to keep our tenured teachers. And so we would place those. What the waiver would do is if that person could not teach in the area that is needed for that school.
I was just wondering, because I'm kind of curious, because if you have a teacher that's not certified, then you get rid of a teacher that is, and I was wondering why on that position.
Yeah, certification plays
Yeah.
into that, the area. And so, most of our non-tenured teachers, they receive a letter, and if the principal wants to keep them, they can, and if not, they can advertise for that position.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that works. So the waiver is kind of dependent on that person's area, specialty area.
Any more questions from the public?
Hi, I'm Bethany Baird. I'm the kindergarten teacher at White Oak. And first of all, I would like to say we have been cut to the bone. I work very closely with the teacher who's working for first and second grade. It is killing her. It is killing her. I also have a friend who's sitting right here in this room right now who's teaching 4 grade levels. That is a lot of standards to cover for one person. Why is Wynn not getting any cuts? No offense to Wynn, nobody needs to be cut, but there's no cuts for Wynn anywhere. We got cut last year, and now we're being cut this time.
We got cut last year.
Okay, well, see, why is this happening? You expect us to do the impossible, and we're killing ourselves to do it, and we're happy to do it. We're coming in every day to do it, but how on earth are we expected to lose another teacher? How? How? Please tell me. I would love to see somebody else come in and try it, because it's killing the ones that are doing it. Sorry, but it is killing us.
Any more public comments?
My name is Lily Askins, and I'm a current 8th grade student at Wynn. I know I'm going to high school next year, but my teachers, I love my teachers so much. And to have 30, I understand that obviously you have to make cuts in the budget, but it's not fair. It's not fair to White Oak, it's not fair to Elk Valley, and it's not fair to Wynn. There's 30 students in a classroom at one time. We would have 90 minutes, that gets cut into 45. And we share a gym teacher with White Oak, and that's not fair to them, and that's not fair to us. So what are you planning to do next year? Because as of right now, I think there's like 20-something in upcoming 7th grade, so there'll be like 40 students in one classroom. So what are you planning to do about that next year?
That's illegal, right? Yeah.
That is.
It should be.
That's state law.
Not to mention it's 2 different grade levels, so how do you not cut half? It's like Bethany said.
When she says that there's 30 students. When she says there's 30 students, that's 7th and 8th grade combined, and they're teaching 4 subjects.
That's crazy.
It's
impossible.
How many? Between the two of us, we teach 4, responsible for 12 testing.
I don't want to talk, but when she said the 30 students, I think it might be even more than that. But it's 7th and 8th grade split. We did get cut a teacher last year, and that's a 7th and 8th grade split. They're responsible for 12 tests, T and ready tests, and they teach 4 subjects each. They got added on, Miss Tammy got added on social studies, and Miss Torres got added on science. And they teach that for both 7th and 8th grade. Right now. And 6th grade, right. I forgot, they've got 6th grade on top of that too. And next year, they will have even more than that. The upcoming 7th grade class is pretty large. So if they are still combined 7th and 8th grade, then they will be, so just to clarify, we did get cut last year, and they had 30 plus kids in one room, 7th and 8th grade at the same time.
Excuse me, is that Wynn? Are you?
Yes, Wynn.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Public comment?
I just want to say that right now White Oak is in the process. We've had how many kids from Claiborne County lately? Several from Claiborne County. So we're starting to grow. Those kids from Claiborne County starting to come our way. But when these cuts start happening and they see all these posts on Facebook, that makes them ease back. So our growth then
we stop growing. So whatever we've accomplished to this point, it's just diminished. So we're trying to grow.
I do want to add one comment. There is flexibility in our budget. There is some flexibility that we would have to, if your numbers grow. If your numbers grow, we provide more staffing. So if your numbers do grow, we would have to, we would have to provide additional staffing. That is just state mandated. So when you think, these are based on the numbers that we have before us currently.
Any more public comment? Mr. Heatherly?
Real quick, just as an assistant principal at the high school, if I do go back to the classroom, I mean, you're only saving about $17,000 to $18,000. So you're not really saving $86,500. Has anybody thought about that? And then go back to Jamie mentioned there. My question back to Jamie. Jamie ran the high school with 3 principals, and I came the next year as a half principal, so I know it's hard. I didn't know if she had any comments to how hard it is, and if she was, any animosity towards Director Fields, but she had just 3. So I'm just throwing that out there. Thank you.
Just really quick.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
No, go ahead.
Go right ahead.
No, you go right ahead.
I honestly would like to hear what you, just very quickly, I mean, I think we can all say that these are very, very difficult changes, and we don't want any of these. And I personally don't want any.
Can't hear
We
you.
can't hear you. Does that work?
Yes.
All right, better. Just very quickly, I just have a couple questions. One is for Mr. Pearson. Is there any option for us to use additional fund balance this year? And then I'd like to finish.
This courts don't go very long, so it's not very comfortable. Our recommendation wouldn't be that you use more fund balance, because the difficulty you get into is if you use fund balance for recurring operating expenses, all you're doing is building in additional deficit into your budget. Where next year, you're gonna have to come up with that same amount of fund balance to replace that. And it's gonna be even higher based on any escalation in cost for that item. It's difficult, but I think the important thing for the board is to try to be very disciplined on your use of fund balance. Right now, the budget assumes about a little over $1 million from fund balance to pay debt service, which is based on prior board action. A use of $100,000 for the doors. And then these options really are designed then to balance the budget and not require any more fund balance withdrawals for any more items. And just wanted to clarify, option 2, it noted that you could add back about 160 and still not have to take on additional fund balance. It's not noted in option 3 here, but you could add back 142,000 and be in the same position. But I think given the challenges you're facing with flat revenues and increasing costs, you are better off making reductions in the budget rather than trying to use fund balance to balance the budget to pay for operating expenditures. Because you're not sure what's going to happen over the next few years, and you don't want to be in a position where you use a lot of fund balance to pay for recurring expenses, and then the cut you have to make next year, the year after, is just going to be even larger and more difficult to do. And really, fund balance, you want to have reserves there of a certain amount, and I think the general recommendation, and it's a recommendation for the Government Finance Officers Association and the Comptroller's Office, is you should have about 2 months worth of unassigned fund balance, and that's just a rule of thumb, because your specific circumstances may require more, but that's about almost 17%. And I'm pretty sure looking at the numbers, when we looked at it, if you adopt a balanced budget, including the fund balance withdrawal for the debt service and the Campbell County High School doors, you probably will be right around that 17%. So that's probably where you'd like to stay and not use more unless you absolutely had to. You know, we know there's some other issues you'll be facing that might require use of fund balance that you're not planning for and that we're not going to budget for. And that's really the intent of having it there, is that if you do have some emergency or unanticipated expenses and you have no other way to pay for them, you could use some fund balance for that in that situation. So I would just recommend that you try to be as disciplined as possible and not use fund balance for recurring operating expenses if you can avoid it.
Yeah, my curiosity is, just to finish very quickly, one is obviously in the last year, I'm not an advocate for using fund balance. But the circumstances of this year, and it's just been rather unique for our system. We've had a lot of things going on. I do think we can generate some additional income with the online school, getting that in place. So I think that could replace some of the funding we've lost. It's just unfortunate we're here because I think some of these positions are desperately needed in our community, and I don't think that I can support any of these options, to be honest with you. Now, I would commit to come to work and really go to work with this board going forward to try to come up with a solution, and it's going to be big changes going forward for all of us. But if we could take some of these off there and make sure that we have these classrooms in the best possible, and I know that's what we're trying to do, which we're working for, but try to make sure that we have these in the best possible position that we can. And, I would work with you guys as much as I can. I look forward to working with you to try to come up with a solution that doesn't consist of closing schools, and all those type of things going forward. But we have to balance our budget. I understand that going forward. That's fiscal responsibility. We have to do that. I'd just like to make it known that I don't think that I can support any three of these in their current state. Now, I'm ready to continue to work, and I'll continue to work in the months ahead with you. I'll work as much as you want, as often as you want, to try to prevent this from happening and prevent loss of jobs, do anything we can to help this community and help this school system.
And let me just say, these are proposals that we have made. I present information. I present a tentative budget. The board has to approve the budget. Finance and I have went through all the scenarios with the information we have and knowing what we have to cut out of our budget. So that's what this is based on. Is it the best scenario? Absolutely not. I will be the first to say that. It's not the best scenario. And I welcome that board members go through, do line items on it, but this is what we had to work with. We know how much we had to cut unless we do something with fund balance, and that's the board's decision. So that's where we are.
Ms. Seaver?
I just wanted to come before you all and reiterate that split classrooms is not the answer. It's not the answer for anybody here. It's not the answer for any student here. We aren't necessarily as bare bones as White Oak is at the moment, but that's where we're going to be, and that's the first step. Whenever you take one, you're going to take more. You're going to take more. Taking more. We already don't have preschool. There's a lot of things we already don't have, and that's fine. I had the conversation the other day that there are some things that we don't have, and that may be the trade-off, or that's the trade-off. As I was telling Mr. Heatherly last night, I know that everybody in the building knows my children and has their best interest at heart. I'm sure that that is the same way in every single school. But split classrooms is not going to continue to be the answer. We're going to be in the same boat as how they're talking about with their middle school, the majority of students that they're teaching, the number of students, the standards. it's not the answer. I don't necessarily know what is, but that's not going to solve all the problems. That's just going to make more students, in my opinion. We already had students this afternoon that were saying, we're going to Scott County. There's more money going outside of the county. White Oak, as they were saying, going on to Claiborne County. I know closing schools is not going to be the answer either, but I just want everyone to know that split classes is not going to be, don't think that's going to be the answer. There's already so much that we don't have. And I know that Mr. Heatherly and I talked a lot about that last night, but I just can't say that I am not going to, for my staff and for my students, not say that split classrooms is the answer. Because that's just the first step, to take more and take more. And I don't think that we'll ever get that teacher back. And I'm glad that Wynn has, but I don't think that we ever will.
Wait a minute, we don't have teachers.
We didn't get a teacher.
In the budget proposal. In the budget proposal. If that comes back.
They won't give it back.
In the budget proposal for Wynn. If that comes back. But- Yes, thank you.
All right, so question for the board. Last night, option 3 received 4 votes. Mr. Cummins, Ms. Creekmore, Mr. Lasley, and Chairman Miller, you all voted for option number 3.
But we have a motion on the floor now.
Okay.
Will you repeat it?
Motion is to accept option 3, to replace, to remove, abolish unknown teacher 2 out of the teacher vacancy at Campbell County High School, and to add the, to replace it with the Lahawat Elementary School PE teacher that's retired.
Ms. Houston, where am I at? Mr. Chairman, just one thing to add. Since you made that motion though, Ms. Wheeler, Mr. Pearson has said that option number 3 does give us $140,000 of flexibility in that budget that we didn't know when you made the motion. So we can actually add back $140,000. My thought is just to try to support some folks. I certainly understand what Ms. Lasley was saying about vice principals, right? 260 students at Jellicoe with 1 principal would be really tough, and I get that. That's 130 students per vice principal. If we did that same math, Campbell County High School would need 8 principals. So we've got some tough decisions to make.
You gotta look at responsibilities.
And so, Mr. Chairman. So, Ms. Wheeler, you were going to make the motion, or did make the motion, but we've got some new information to strike, keep the algebra teacher at Campbell County High School, and instead substitute it for the PE teacher. We have $140,000. Again, this is the budget that received 4 votes last night from our friends in the 5th District, Mr. Miller and Mr. Lasley. What if we have $140,000. What if we added the vice principal at Campbell County High School and then took the additional funding? That leaves us with roughly 40-something thousand. We can add 2 new assistants at schools in the 5th District to try to help some of their student-teacher ratios and facilitate teachers. I mean, I'm just trying to find, this is a motion that our 5th District voted for last night. So.
Gotta look at job requirements.
Ms. Wheeler, you stand by your motion. Mr. Lasley, you second. Any more discussion? Call the roll.
Creekmore. No. Cummins.
No.
Fields.
No.
Heatherly.
No.
Johnson.
No.
Lester.
No.
Rodner.
No.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion failed.
Did we record Mr. Lasley's vote?
I did.
Okay.
I'm going to start Mr. Lasley.
Mr. Chairman, may I?
Did you vote yes? Failed.
Looking at the 3 options, I like the 3rd option better than the first 2. I don't like Elk Valley losing a teacher, and I know Campbell County doesn't like losing an algebra teacher. These are things that are necessary to ensure student success. There's also a couple of other things in this option 3. I know that said, there's $140,000 worth of wiggle room other than the things that I've mentioned. I would like to take option 3 as a basis and approve it with modification, which would give us the opportunity to say, hey, director, this wouldn't work, let's exchange it for something else, right? Because we have roughly, 23 line items? And so with our 10 board members, I think we would all have a little bit of input in there and say, hey, these are the things our community needs without our community suffering. So I'd like to make the motion to accept option 3 with modification.
How would you, I mean, who would be determining the modification?
We would work alongside our director individually.
I mean, it had to be before the meeting.
You can definitely do that, but you can have a conversation with the director as long as it doesn't involve other board members.
Can you do that now?
Legally, yeah.
Then do it. We're here. What do you want to change?
I don't like Elk Valley losing a teacher. I don't like Campbell County losing an algebra teacher. Do you have anything you'd like to modify or put in place for that?
Are you asking? I'm sorry, are you asking? Oh, I'm
Yes.
sorry, I thought you were.
And so, and just to provide a little more information, I don't like option 1 and 2, especially with my Wildwood folks, because eliminating that pre-K, you get folks that are dedicated, when they're Wildcats from preschool till they get to Jellicoe High School, when they feed into that. And so same thing with Wynn and same thing with Elk Valley. So I don't like elimination of any pre-K because that's kind of like, that's your seed, that's where you start, right? So I will not vote for 1 or 2. I would be open to 3 with modification. And you can set a time on that. You say, hey, we're gonna do this in a week and come back and reassess, because these figures will also change. Even though you have like $100,000 for or $68,500 on a driver's ed teacher, when you look at the specifics of that, there's going to be additional costs of that. It's not going to be an exact round number. So those things are going to change through 23 line items.
Okay. So can we go through and just say, these are the things we're willing to cut at this point? Is that something we can do?
I'm sure you can. So let's reset. Last night, 4 people voted for option 3. Is that correct?
Can't hear you.
Last night, 4 people voted for option 3. Is that correct? So if we have 140,000, is that the most we have to play with?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I've noticed on option 3, you have, can't hear you, Crystal. I got it, how about that? Option 3, under the full-time pre-K assistant, or no, the pre-K safety supervisor, I think there might be a,
There's an additional 18,000 that y'all have in savings. As we were going through the numbers today, we spotted an error.
Just getting back to that.
So you've got 18,000 more, so you've got roughly 160,000 in play.
yeah, I just noticed on option 1 and 2, it had 53K there, and then on option 3, it had 35. Okay, gotcha.
I'm gonna offer a motion, okay? It'd be option 3. We're gonna bring back the assistant principal at Jellicoe High School. We're gonna bring back the Campbell County High School assistant principal. And then we are going to change the vacant algebra teacher, replacing that with the fall elementary PE teacher. And I think finance can make those numbers work. So that's my motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Wheeler. Any discussion?
Yeah, will you say that again?
Finances identified that there's a wiggle room here about 140. I think it's going to be a little greater than that. So
I thought you were going to take public comments before you voted.
we already did.
No, you're changing the budget before you take the comments. I mean, after you take the comments.
We done saw public comment.
But now you're changing it again. And I don't think you're including anything that anybody here said, except for board members.
Mr. Cummins, I have, did you make a motion, sir?
I did make a motion for, to accept. I made a motion, for option 3, to approve option 3 with room for modification. And so with that, I mean, that includes the $140,000 you're talking about, and it lets us kind of plug and play for the things that we need with director feedback and without violation of any kind of law or ethics. I think that's probably going to be our best option, but.
So just point of clarification, you want to accept option number 3, which is what you voted for last night?
With modification.
But I don't think anybody on this board understands what your are we going to let the director's discretion decide how we add the 140 back in?
We're going to discuss things with the director and see what her, her input is and say, hey, I think this is more effective than this. Yeah, I mean, we're trusting her.
Does it come back to us?
I mean, I would think any type of conversation that we have on this, on anything we vote on here tonight, needs to be discussed here publicly and decided here. If not tonight, any other time.
Sunshine law.
Do you still want to offer your motion?
I'll rescind my motion.
Okay.
So, if I can ask, there's things that you all like in 3. We do have some money in play, right?
Use the microphone.
One thing I do want to say, just the 68.5 basis that we've used for several of the unknown positions, and that number could be more or less. There's a decent chance that it will be more, but we have based that on a non-tenured position who doesn't have a whole lot of benefits being replaced by a person that is currently in a tenured position. Until we receive ag change forms telling us who to move where, that's the number that we have to use as the initial basis, because that is the most conservative, and I would rather be conservative on the low end and try to estimate on the high end and be off, and then you all have a further deficit to try to build off of.
And we cannot do ag change forms until we actually get this budget.
Until we know what position.
I take care of the tenured people before your waiver.
Yes. Yeah, we did have it. Okay,
So-
my motion, I'm going to offer my
Yes.
motion. My motion is going to be to approve option 3, keeping Campbell County High School assistant principal position, Jellicoe High School assistant principal position, keeping the algebra teacher at Campbell County High School, replacing that with the fall elementary PE teacher, with the knowledge that finance has identified some funds that they can wiggle around. That's my motion.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Wheeler. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Creekmore. Yes. Cummins.
Yes.
Fields.
Yes.
Heatherly.
No.
Johnson.
No.
Lastly.
Yes.
Lester.
No.
Rodner.
No.
Wheeler.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Okay, with that said, that's the basic foundation of the 141. The option will be now for Ms. McCoy to put change order together and get to finance by hopefully Friday. And then we will meet again on Monday to do a final vote on this Monday. That will have actual numbers, correct?
We'll probably try to do 140, we could probably do 143, maybe 142 Monday, but we probably need to Tuesday on 140.
And you all understand how the add change forms has to happen to get an actual any amount. So again, the numbers will change just that little bit, okay?
But it shouldn't change substantially.
It will be substantial, but it will be a different number than on this paper. Okay, so we will recess until Monday. Motion to recess? We have to make-
So move. I think it's
Recess.
gavel.
Now, 142.